Um, Here's where it gets a bit complicated. I was born in Germany, so I'm German, but I spent a lot of the last I was at university. I spent in England, so I know a bit about both. I can tell you a bit about both. In Germany, you graduate, I think about 10th grade. You choose what kind of specific area you want to go into. So like math, science, or something like that. And then you pick elective courses similar to university based on that. And you will take the Abitur, which is the degree, the high school diploma. And then you apply for university. Usually we don't have entrance exams. In the UK, it's kind of a mix. You have to take certain exams that every student in the UK has to take. So I don't remember which class it is, but you take the GCSEs, I think 9th or 10th grade, and then you take A levels in 11th and 12th grade. So there's you choose the last 2 years of your secondary education. I believe, and then you pick the courses you want to do related to what degree you want to do in the future, and you have to have certain grades in those. You have to have certain grades in those A levels, or even you have to have certain grades at the Abitur in order to qualify for certain departments in the university, and then you apply to university. I think in general, Taiwanese students are quieter in class, especially during discussion. But I was in a guest lecture with Taiwanese students once, and the students who like to talk and who know a lot about the subject usually sit in the front. And then the people who I don't know why they're there sit really far in the back. But I think in general, when I was in some of the smaller classes, it's more the volume of talking that's smaller. And then I think in some countries, in Germany, for example, I know that people get very competitive with trying to answer the teacher's question the best way. So I don't see that as much here. I'm doing a lot more presentations here than I did before, and a lot of group work that I do here that I don't before. I'm an economics and finance graduate, and in economics and finance, you do a lot of maths, a lot of statistics, and that means that a lot of the work is individual because you just look at the data and then you analyze and stuff. You don't really need another person to do it if you know what you're doing. But here we do a lot of teamwork, like projects together and then analysis together. And I think it's different, but it's not bad. I don't dislike it. And we have less here. I think similar to what your friend said, that the discussion is very quiet. Usually, it's not as active, especially when we do arguments against each other. Usually, it's like I'm arguing, but I feel like I'm bullying you because you're not answering. So, yeah. Seen in my class a lot of Taiwanese students interact with the teacher more than international students. So they really interact a lot with their students, with the teacher. I've seen it here. In the UK, when I studied my bachelor's, we don't really interact. We didn't really interact with the teacher very much, unless you have to write your thesis. Then you pick your teacher, and then you're always talking to them. In the UK, you can disagree with the teacher. Like whatever he's saying, you say, I don't agree because, oh, can you explain why it's like this because it doesn't look logical to me. Then the teacher will think about it and answer. But here, I've seen the case. It happened to me because I asked the teacher, I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense to me. And he was really shocked, like, why are you questioning me? I was like, but I really don't understand. Actually, I find the classes in Taiwan not very difficult.
They're easier than
They were easier than my classes in my bachelor's. Well, anyway, they will be easier. But I've taken, for example, economics here, like the basic one, and I've taken the basic one in the UK, and I have to say that the one in the UK was a lot harder. It was harder because we covered the things in more depth than I did here, because the topic is more broader here, so like you cover a lot more different topics, so each topic is not as deep. But before I studied not that many different topics, but very deeply specific those topics. I think, but I think that it depends on the subject you choose. I'm sure that Tsinghua has some really, really difficult topics. I just haven't experienced them. But I think the exams and the grading here is much easier than it is in the UK. Of course, yeah. I I only mentioned the part where I thought it was easier, but there's a couple of things that I found difficult here. Um, it's the one thing is the one thing that comes to mind is the way the exams are made and the number of exams. I heard from my friends who are doing undergraduate here that sometimes you have 3 exams for one semester for one course. It's the same course. And then I'm thinking, is it necessary to test so many times? Because I guess it's up to everyone, but I'm not used to have the exams so often. Usually we have exams in the past when my degree, I only had exams once in the whole semester. So I found it difficult because then suddenly I have to study for the exam like every 2 weeks or something like that, and I'm just okay, but I wish that the hour you use to do the exam, you teach me something different.